Today, I'm making something really special. Strawberry pretzel salad. Or some people call it a dessert, strawberry pretzel dessert. I say it's delicious no matter what you call it. This is not a dish I grew up with. I had never tried this until I met my husband and got introduced to his family. It's something that they had, but it's not something that I had growing up. Really, and it does sound unusual. Pretzel salad or strawberry pretzel salad, like what does that mean? Well, you're gonna find out. I sought out a recipe for this online, and there are a lot of them out there. Tons of different types of recipes, lots and lots of variations. I went with one from All Recipes, mostly because it's been on that site for a long time. It has a lot of reviews and it's pretty highly rated. I think it's like 4.8 stars, so they must be doing something right. I will go ahead and link that recipe in the description down below, but let's get going on the crust. So in this bowl, I have 2 cups of crushed pretzels, salted pretzels, and you don't want these to be completely like pulverized. Wanted to give you a closer look. You can see there's like big-ish pieces of pretzel in there. You want to be able to see some of them. So I did this with a rolling pin actually. And to that, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar and then 3/4 of a cup of melted butter. That's 1.5 sticks of butter. So that is what is going to form our crust. So let's mix that together until well combined. You get a lot of good textures in this dessert. The layers are all very different, and the saltiness and the butteriness of the pretzel is a nice contrast to all the sweetness of everything else. So I have a 9x13 glass baking dish here. I preheated my oven to 400 degrees because I am going to bake this for a little bit. And you just pour the pretzel mixture into your baking dish. And just press this mixture into the bottom of the baking dish, almost like a graham cracker crust, but with pretzels. So I have a nice even layer here. I'm gonna bake this in my preheated 400-degree oven for 8 to 10 minutes. Then I need to let it cool before I move on to the next step. All right, my crust is all done. It is cooling off. Actually, it's pretty much completely cool. I can handle it and everything. And I realized I didn't even tell you why I'm making this. So I'm getting together with a couple of friends this evening. And the last time we were together, this dish came up as a topic of discussion, and one of the friends said, I've never had that, I've never heard of it. And I was like, okay, you have to experience it. Today's the day. So I'm gonna bring this along with me to this little gathering. We've got the crust on the bottom of the pretzels. Second layer is like a creamy cream cheese, sweetened layer. So in this dish, I have 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. I'm gonna just break that up with my hand mixer a little bit. Okay, and to that, gonna add a cup of sugar. I'm having a good time with all of these layered desserts. I've done a few in the last few months, and they're just fun to make. They're delicious. A lot of times they're kind of fluffy. And as we head into spring, I think, that's appropriate, right? All right, I'm gonna mix this together. So I mixed that together very thoroughly. I went a good 4, maybe 5 minutes with my hand mixer just to get that sugar all mixed in. Next, whip topping or Cool Whip. I was at Aldi, so I got the Aldi version. That's 8 ounces, by the way, and it is thawed. So I bought this yesterday and just put it in my fridge. If you have some that's frozen, you're gonna want it completely thawed. So then you can fold it in. I saw tons and tons of variations on this recipe. I briefly considered making one that had whipped cream, heavy cream and sugar in it. I may make that one sometime. I just thought this Cool Whip version was kind of the essence of what this dish is, So go ahead and fold. And if you don't like Cool Whip, maybe try a different recipe if it's not for you. Bringing in my completely cooled crust. You need to make sure that this is completely cool because you just worked really hard on this layer. You don't want it to melt. I did taste this layer just a little bit. I wanted to measure for texture and all that. It's almost like marshmallow cream. If you can watch it drop, it's pretty thick. So I think I'm ready. Offset spatula is just a great thing to use here. I know I'm gonna get some of this on my hands, but that's fine. I read through a couple of the reviews of this recipe just to see if there was anything I should know. This recipe has been posted on All Recipes for quite some time. So it does have a lot of reviews. It's highly rated, and a lot of the reviews are pretty helpful. So one of them that I read said you want to make sure to get this all the way to the edges, this mixture. It kind of forms a seal. So then when you put your Jell-O mixture on top, it doesn't seep into the crust and like make it soggy, you know? I'm gonna take that into consideration, and that's why an offset spatula really helps here. You can get all the way to those edges and really smooth it out. I'm just gonna make it a little bit flatter, just make sure everything's kind of even. Another review that I read said that it's really best, even though I don't think it says this in the recipe instructions, it's best to refrigerate this layer for like 30 to 45 minutes before you add your Jell-O layer. So I'm gonna do that. You know, I gotta mix up the Jell-O layer anyway, and so I'm just gonna pop this in the fridge, let it sit. When I mix the Jell-O layer, there's actually a step where you have to let it set up just a little, so I think this is all gonna work out time-wise. I don't usually trust recipes that say once this is assembled, it says refrigerate for 2 hours. My goal is to let this refrigerate for about 4 hours because I have been heartbroken before when it comes to Jell-O. And it's like, yeah, it's gonna set up in 2 hours. And I'm like, I don't believe you, because I've done that and it like has taken a lot longer. So, you know, you could do this overnight. I didn't really have time to work on this yesterday. So I think like once it's all assembled, I'm gonna give it 4 hours and fingers crossed, it's all gonna work out. I'm gonna pop this in the fridge, and when you see me next, I'm gonna start mixing up my Jell-O and strawberry mixture. Now I'm gonna make the top delicious strawberry layer. And for that you need 2 3-ounce packages of strawberry gelatin, or I guess if you can find a 6-ounce package, I don't know, I just got 2 3-ounce packages. Now this is very important. You're gonna disregard the instructions on these boxes because you're not actually making the Jell-O the way that you would normally make Jell-O. You're gonna dissolve this gelatin in boiling water, and then normally if you were making Jell-O, you would add some cold water and whatever and chill it and let it be Jell-O. This is like a thicker mixture. Just don't follow the directions on the boxes, follow the recipe. So again, that's 2 3-ounce packages of strawberry flavored gelatin. I have seen like other versions of this with different fruit flavors and different berries and things. Never tried one. Oh my gosh. I emptied that packet and it just, some of the Jell-O mist like wafted into the air and it was like, whoa, strawberries. Anyway, I've seen different versions like blueberry and maybe even cherry. I think strawberry is probably the most popular though. That's what I see the most. Got my boiling water back here, and you need 2 cups. So I'm gonna measure that. I also have my strawberries at the ready. I just kept them in the freezer. I wanted to keep them frozen. So I'm gonna dissolve my strawberry gelatin with this boiling water. So strawberry, oh my goodness. I'm just gonna stir this until it's fully dissolved. And in this little container, I have 20 ounces of frozen strawberries. So, whoops, I lost a couple. I saw a lot of variations on this too. People using fresh strawberries, people using sweetened frozen strawberries. I went with just like frozen strawberries. I feel like we're getting enough sweetness from like the middle layer and the gelatin, but this is 20 ounces and I went ahead and I quartered them. Some people did whole strawberries. That was like something else. Some people just did halved. I did quarters, you know, smaller pieces because I thought this would be a little bit easier to cut into if you didn't have to cut through like a really big strawberry. Another good reason I think to me, like this makes sense to go with frozen strawberries is that it's gonna help this set up because you need to let it, thicken a little bit before you pour this layer on top of that fluffy cream cheese, whipped cream kind of layer. So I'm gonna add my still frozen strawberries. That's so many strawberries. This is like already starting to thicken up a little bit. How much time do I have left to refrigerate? Yeah, I've got like almost 20 minutes left on that refrigeration of the other layer. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge and then kind of check on it and see where we're at. And if this has set up enough, I think we're ready for the final layer. I ended up checking on this a little bit sooner than that like full almost 20 minutes. Glad I did because this set up and thickened pretty quickly. You don't want it to set up completely. It's just like thicker, I guess. And I went ahead and I took my crust and my cream cheese layer out of the refrigerator. That is what it looks like. Pretty much the same. but it has firmed up a little bit. Now I wish that I had one of my Cinderella bowls because they're very easy to pour. But I swapped out some of my bowls recently. My collection's big enough that I can do that. And I put away all of my big Cinderella bowls. I'll have to grab one for my next video. But anyway, you're gonna just gently pour this over the top. Ooh, oh my gosh, it's so full. And then spread it out. Yeah, it looks like maybe my gelatin set up a little bit more than I would have wanted it to. I think it's still gonna be delicious though. I think it's gonna be fine. So that's where we stop for now. I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna refrigerate it. I can give this at least 4 hours, maybe even just a little bit longer. And then I'm gonna try to cut a piece and try it on camera, but I'm gonna have to wait to let you know what my friend, especially the one who hasn't tried it, what she thought of it. All right. The top, a little lumpy, and I'm okay with that. It's still gonna taste very good, actually. If I made this exact recipe again, I just really wouldn't worry about letting the gelatin kind of thicken in the fridge. I think it thickens enough when you add the frozen strawberries. Jiggly, very, very strawberry scented. I need to get a plate. I don't have a plate, 1 second. It's a saucer, I got a saucer. Nobody has to know, we'll just cover up the center part. I'm gonna try to cut a piece here. I want to take some out of here. You gotta kind of work your way through the pretzel crust a little. And some people don't cut this into squares. I've seen people just scoop it, and that's cool too. Just scoop it. Ta-da! Oh my gosh, and all its like jiggled glory here. Let's see if you can get kind of a better idea of like cross section so you can see there's like pretzel at the bottom, the creamy center. I'm gonna have a little bite here. That's it. We got flavors, we got textures, we got it all here. First layer is the pretzel crust. Very crunchy. I kind of like it pretty crunchy. Some people like it softer. It's really personal preference. It'll probably soften up a little bit by tomorrow, but I just made it this morning, so it's still very crunchy, buttery, salty, just the perfect match for the other two sweet layers. The center layer is like sweet and creamy without being like overly in your face sweet. And then you have that like soft strawberry gel on top. Just delicious, just a good flavor combination. I'm gonna take a couple more pieces out to give away. I'm gonna put this in the fridge until it's time for me to go to my little gathering. And I'll let you know how everybody else felt about this probably tomorrow. Okay, it's time for some pretzel salad news updates. The first one being it's gone. This is gone, it got eaten. This is a dish that is and was, for me, well received. People have really appreciated that it was there. I gave some of it away to a neighbor. I saved one piece because I wanted it for like quality assurance purposes. I wanted to taste it the day after I made it to see how it held up. How did the crust react? All that good stuff. So, you know, gave a couple pieces away to my good friend and neighbor, saved one piece, took the rest of it to this gathering, and it's gone. I couldn't be happier. That's like the biggest compliment to me, is when I bring home an empty dish. You know, we enjoyed it as we were gathering. I gave some to each person to have at a later date. I'm hearing someone had some for breakfast. Fully approve. 100%. Life is too short. Have that pretzel salad for breakfast. So the pretzel salad aficionados at this gathering assured me that this is a very good version of this dish. I've eaten plenty of this in my lifetime. You know, I was introduced to it in my early 20s, but I'm nearing 45. So I've had time to consume a lot of pretzel salad. I've never made this. This is my very first time. And this recipe is a good one. I'm gonna link it. I think you should try this one first, maybe, if you don't have one of your own and you wanna try it, and then maybe take it and run with it and put some variations on it. And the person who had never had pretzel salad very much enjoyed it. So I think this is a really good dish. Some people might be a little apprehensive, and that's, you know, that's okay. If they decide they don't want it, there's more for you, right? But no, this went over very, very well for our gathering. It's got a little bit of a spring and summer kind of taste to it. I think it would be a great Easter dessert if you're taking something to Easter. There's some things that I think are important to pay attention to when making this dish to make it successful, to make it very successful. Okay, so number one, the crust. I said I like a crispy crust, a crunchy crust. The people at this gathering also like a crunchy crust. And my neighbor, the person I gave a couple pieces to, crunchy crust. So crunchy crust seems to be important. Some people like it. It's still delicious when it's soft, but whatever. It's, as one person put it, it is a delicacy when you have a crunchy crust on this dish. I followed the instructions. The things that I kind of did that I think also helped, I left some of the pretzel pieces a little more whole. You know, you don't want like pretzel dust. And I did bake it the full 10 minutes, and I just kind of let it stay in the oven an extra minute or two. So I would say, it says 8 to 10 in the recipe. I say you could probably go 10 to 12 if you're feeling bold. And that really, like, it really makes for a nice crunchy crust. Now, coming to that second layer, I thought the choice of white granulated sugar in this was brave. Because, you know, like, if you don't get it mixed in there right, like, it's gonna be gritty. Usually it's like mix the cream cheese with powdered sugar, not necessarily to make an icing, but just to make sure that it dissolves. You gotta mix this. I think I said I mixed the cream cheese and the granulated sugar for like 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, time yourself, get that thoroughly mixed in. Once you mix it with everything else, once you mix it with the Cool Whip, or if you're gonna use whipped cream, use that. And it sat for a bit in the fridge and whatnot, like it does smooth out. I was worried though, I was worried. So I would say beat those two ingredients together very well and then trust. Just like put your trust in it and walk away. And let it chill, let it chill. So that top Jell-O layer, I think because I'm making this another time. When I make this again, I'm not gonna let the liquid gelatin and the strawberries sit in the fridge for quite as long. I didn't let it go like super, super long or anything. It didn't have quite the smoothness that I wanted appearance-wise. It still tasted phenomenal. But I think that since I used frozen strawberries, it kind of thickens that liquid gelatin enough. When you add the frozen strawberries to the liquid gelatin, it thickens it enough to make like a smoother top. You know, you don't have to put it in the refrigerator or anything for very long to do that. I think this was a great success. I actually did save this recipe. I'll print it off. I have a bad habit of saving what I call winners, like recipes from the internet that I love and will make over and over again. Sometimes I have a bad habit of just pinning them on my winners pin board and then I don't print them. And years down the road, they're gone because yeah, sure, the internet's forever, but somehow recipes aren't. So my word to you is if you're saving a recipe on Pinterest and you haven't printed it out yet, go print it now and put it in a binder or something, like save it, because there are recipes that I would have lost if I hadn't done that. And as for those who are saying like, why is this a salad? Like, this is a dessert, this isn't a salad. Sure. I mean, I count it as a dessert, but it is called pretzel salad by a lot of people. One of the reasons for that might be the things suspended in Jell-O trend of the past, especially. So things meaning fruits and vegetables suspended in Jell-O were referred to as salads most of the time. So I think that's maybe part of why it is called that, but I don't care what you call it because I'm gonna eat it. I'm not gonna turn this down whether you call it a salad or a dessert. Have you had this dish before? What did you think of my version? I'd love to hear about that, so please leave me a comment. I'd like to say a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. If you'd like to join us over there, I'll have a link in the description so that you can do that. Please remember to look out for each other and take care of each other, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.